What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you once again to talk about the Vision. And are they cursed? And of course, building to the Elimination Chamber, I'm not alone. I've got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Cody Oneidi 316.
Give me a hell yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? And I'm one to know about first factions, huh? Like I simp apparently over the Judgment Day, who was cursed in their own right. So
right, I'm telling you. So
don't be a faction on Raw, or you're gonna be a cursed group,
definitely. I
say.
mean that's kind of what I'm leaning into today. The Vision, no longer going by that name. They'll forever be known as the Cursed. That's what the Cursed, indeed. Because you look back. And I do want to talk about factions and faction fatigue and all of it, but we get out of Mania last year. Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And the wise man was the big favor to Punk that was owed for the War Games match that everybody thought was for a million different options. So, what was the point of this? It was to get over and build up Seth Rollins' new heel turn, essentially. And
well,
I mean, he was a heel, but
a few months.
But the other part of it was that night too. They brought someone into the fold, Braun Breaker, and just like how Judgment Day started, all of what we got back then, Edge recruiting. We saw Seth doing the same idea. He brings in Braun Breaker. He knows the way. He's done it before. He's been to the promised land. He'll take you to the top. You'll be in the main event of Mania. You'll be in this and that and this and that. I never really bought into it great because Seth as a heel is kind of, you get like the whiny, the know-it-all, and it's just...
You like him better as a face rather than heel?
I think so, personally, which a lot of people are like, wait, really? But yeah, he cackles like an old 1930s cartoon villain tying up people to railroad tracks as a heel. That kind of, I'll get you anyways, Dr. Claw thing.
I guess so, but not
inspect this gadget.
I know she has nothing to do with this, but that's the same thing Liv does, right? Kind of does a cackle whenever she gets a chance. Is that like the same type of thing?
A little bit, but they're both doing it to be grating and annoying. That is the purpose as the heel. She does, when you see her as a face, she doesn't hold on to the long notes or make him as screechy. It's supposed to be an annoyance. That's the job. They're doing their job. Exactly, but I don't care for it. You're just getting... this is not cheapy, but it is. You're just annoying the people there. You're not really getting people to hate you for the character. It's hating you for being just a pest. Regardless, it's all built up around Paul Heyman and Seth saying they know the way, we know the future, and the future is you,
So would you
Braun
say
Breaker.
there's a difference between a annoying that's just like, all right, wrap this up, versus, oh, he's good at being annoying or she's good at being annoying?
Absolutely. Paul Heyman is that. Paul Heyman can piss you off and still be entertaining. And that's, I mean, sadly, Liv's segment died on Raw. A death by 1,000 cuts. It was brutal to sit and watch because of the story
they weren't
having
booing
them
the
tell.
attack, unfortunately. I wish they were, because I could help.
They're gonna react for any action at that point. I mean, somebody could have fallen out of the ring just by tripping, and they probably would have went
nuts. But they
nuts.
were booing once the segment. So after everyone got out there, they started booing it immediately.
Yeah, because it's been nothing but
they
pure
weren't
shite.
booing Liv herself because she got cheered
for the entrance.
That's besides the point.
But that's to show with everything in these day and ages how it all cycles back to one. Paul Heyman is good to get on your nerves. So we knew what we were getting. We're getting heel Seth, we got heel Paul still, and now we've got Braun friggin' Breaker. The real future. The vision is to get him over as the guy. So what happens? Seth keeps telling us week after week, every opening of Raw, this is the future. I know the way. We are the vision. They would open Raw and close Raw. More heat. Same thing. Week in, week out, week in, week out. And this is while we're also dealing with a heel John Cena, might I add, too. So it's all supposed to lead to Braun Breaker. But that's not what happens. They eventually, make sure that they need a little more muscle. And Bronson Reed is brought into the fold. Why? Because, well, he almost killed me, gave me 6 tsunamis and broke my insides and took me out. So I've been to war with him, and I know what that man is capable of. And I don't need to fear him. I respect him. Okay, good explanation. What are you going to do with it? Absolutely nothing. But it gets Seth the money in the bank. It gets Seth the chance to fake an injury, which, again, the dumbest booked thing ever. That really hurt the Vision badly, too. I'm telling you right now, if they didn't do the Saturday night main event injury angle with LA Knight in the ring and all, making it seem like it's real, playing it off as it's real, because now there are so many people today saying, oh, it's a work. Bronson's not really hurt. Braun Breaker didn't really have surgery. It's so hard in the world of kayfabe to build up fans' trust. And the first time you make them lose it, you don't get it back.
Yeah, I know this is a different injury, but this is what always pissed me off about the actual Seth Rollins injury, because they didn't acknowledge it after the Cody Rhodes match, because they were like, he was fine.
But we'll get there. We get to SummerSlam. He cashes in. He's not injured. And then we flash forward all the way through to Crown Jewel. He's going to go ahead and face Cody Rhodes to see who is the ultimate champion. And he's so selfish and so vain in the need to serve himself that he had to do a coast-to-coast that he knew he probably couldn't hit and fucked himself up. And that's where your point comes to life. Because now the next night, he has to vacate the belt. And he doesn't hand it to Paul Heyman to say, oh, one of these two are champion, figure out which. No, he's forced to vacate the title. And then they beat the shit out of him. And then they say that they didn't injure him. They said the match injured him and took him out.
They said his injuries came out after the match, but they didn't acknowledge that before the attack.
No. So they literally made it sound like CM Punk is the reason he's out, not the Vision beating him up after. Like, why would you not capitalize on the group?
Why not just say the Vision took him out? That would make more sense.
Yeah, why have him be injured coming out of the show? Hey, all right, don't let anybody know he's injured for real this time. When you get to Raw, well, all right, so you can't risk, you guys beat him down anyways, so what does it matter? He was still cleared to take bumps somehow because they beat him up. So why couldn't they have said that's when he got injured? Now he's forced to vacate the title. I don't get it. I don't get, why break up with them?
Seth Rollins has to relinquish the title because of the match with Cody Rhodes. I'm like, but we just saw an attack.
Yes, and people said as well, that wouldn't make sense. Why would they turn on him then? Because he's doing everything for himself. He's selfish this entire time. He keeps telling everybody, I'm going to get you over. And he's just using them as lackeys, as muscle, as enforcers.
And Paul Heyman's not stupid.
No, he sees it all. He knew Braun Breaker was getting antsy, shall we say.
And Paul Heyman knew Seth Rollins didn't give a shit about him.
Well, no, not at all. And then they add in Logan Paul randomly. No real reason, no rhyme to it. Just, hey, we got another guy.
I think he ended up fitting in well, to be honest.
He did. I'm not saying it's a bad addition, but it was random as all hell, and it just happened.
Yeah, it was random.
He was out there mouthing off on Monday Night Raw, and then they attacked him, and then he was like, no, I don't want to get hit again. I'm good. I'll be with you guys.
There should be more of a story to it, but
there was nothing.
He fit in well, but they were attacking him too, all right?
Yeah. So Seth Rollins is out. It's Braun Breaker's Vision. They go to War Games. They win through help, though, from a masked man who ends up being none other than Austin Theory, which we knew was going to be the reveal. But we whittle our way down. We get past the Rumble. Braun Breaker doesn't win the title on Netflix because no one helps him in that match. What the fuck ever? Why would they not make sure he won the title? I still don't get. He doesn't win the Rumble because he gets eliminated by a new masked man before he ever makes it in. Basically, he gets attacked, then eliminated, I should say. But still, regardless. Then we find out the next night he's got a hernia and he's out. So now we've got two going to the graveyard. Seth is in there, and so is Braun Breaker. Now, we don't know that they're 100% going to miss Mania, but it seems more than likely. So the plan was
Bronson,
Seth got injured.
Confirmed.
Yeah, but here's the way it worked so far is that Seth gets injured. All right, push Braun Breaker to the moon. Braun gets injured. Now we're going to focus on Bronson Reed. Well, maybe not so quick, because
that's what I'm saying. I don't think the Vision's the only group that's cursed here. Isn't this the same kind of stuff that happened to the Judgment Day, though?
Yeah, let me talk to you. Yeah. So I managed to go ahead and have a bit of an omnipotous moment when I said to you, watch him get hurt, and then they have to go ahead and give everything to Logan. We chuckled, just being like, and then in the match, his arm fails him, and Bronson Reed is now out, and his shoulder's torn to shit, and he needs
I felt
surgery.
bad for him because you could see him. He was like crying, I think.
Almost, because he was out with injury for all this time with the War Games. He missed a year blowing up both of his ankles. And he's going to miss it again now. He's going to miss it again. And here's the thing. They added Austin Theory. They added Logan Paul.
Down, like, for real.
Why didn't those two go for the tag titles? Why didn't those two? Like shouldn't all of you have a focus? Remember, I brought up a name before, Undisputed Era. You know, had they transferred to the main roster and stayed, it would have been probably, you know, the next big faction like the Shield, like Judgment Day, like, you know, they like the Bloodline even. They would have been gigantic. But the best thing about Undisputed Era to me is the time where every single guy held the title. Roddy was North American champ. You know, Red Dragon were the tag champs. And of course, the leader held the NXT title in Adam Cole. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be standing there. Logan with the IC title, because he's got to take it from Dom. Dom doesn't want it. It's too icy. And then we have to go ahead and see, you know, like I said, Logan Paul, Austin Theory are tag champs, and Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed are going for what the fuck ever. They have no vision. They have no guidance. Now you're down to 2, and they're being attacked by a mystery man still, who could or couldn't be Grayson Waller. Yeah. Regardless, I'm just saying this whole thing. What do you think, Shrek? Donkey. I agree. They donkeyed it up. No, Cody, I'm serious though. We already were tired of the Vision. They got dull very quick. They opened and closed Raw. Week after week after week. What they said didn't make sense.
I was bitching about that for a long time.
Most of the storylines fell very flat. The only time the Vision had a little bit of an upswing is when you saw Becky join briefly to do the intergender match against Punk and AJ.
Yeah, leave it to Becky to make
at WrestlePalooza
entertaining.
Yes, right?
Becky's done some great work.
And that's not just me saying it, Cody. Everybody's saying it.
Sports Illustrated saying it.
The Sportster's saying it. So this is where I'm commenting from. The Sportster put out an article earlier today, I believe about 8 hours ago, breaking the fourth wall, saying the Vision is over. I couldn't agree more, and they were indeed getting dull. And here's the thing, that they were already up against a wall beforehand. We have had a long time now of factions. Yes, but I'm talking about like big time factions. What's the last big faction we've had since the Shield? It was a little bit like we had, you know, the League of Nations and things like that, but nothing that really took off the way or had lasting power. Maybe we got people together briefly, but there was never anything that like truly stood out in my mind as a wow thing. You know, Sanity and NXT crashed and burned quick and so on and so forth. The Bloodline took over for years and years, Cody. And then we had the Judgment Day on Raw running things. So I think people were already heavily fatigued with factions because the way WWE handles them, they have a certain je ne sais quoi, a certain little way of like, Vince didn't do it often. He would still do it, but not as often. But since Triple H has taken over, think about how many, oh my God, that would be great teases we've gotten without any payoff. How many times have we seen CM Punk and Cody Rhodes go face to face and cut promos on each other?
Arguing, saying eventually one of them's going to stab each other in the front because they would never do it in the back.
Yes, and we go ahead and we see it constantly. They tease this, they tease that. So then you get all this dissension in these groups. The Bloodline, who's turning on who's stabbing who's back. And then they end up together no matter what. They just overlook it. We just complained about the Judgment Day thing where Raquel was eliminated by Liv, and they didn't hardly address it in any logical manner.
Raquel wanted to confront her the night of, and Liv interrupted, made some sort of thing, and then they never acknowledged it again after that.
No, they went and FaceTime Dom, and that was it. They ran away skipping and jumping.
Yeah, again, remember that the issue with that, though, was Liv was like, I know, I called my mom, then I FaceTimed Dominic, and I saw Roxanne, but I didn't see Raquel. But when they showed the footage of the FaceTime call to Dominic, who was right there.
Yep, the whole time. So you can't help but laugh. I mean, they absolutely need a oversight department that just looks at consistency on things, like, is everything in universe correct? But Judgment Day, just like the Vision now, it got repetitive too. It outlasted its length. It should have been broken up quite a long time ago. Every one of these people needs to be away from the group. They'd be better off from it. So WWE does the thing where group members betray each other, but there's rarely any payoffs, while they're also teasing these marquee matchups and fantasy dream matches without having a scenario to actually have it happen.
Right.
So you look at how this card has shaped up, and for heading into WrestleMania, it was supposed to be the focus of Braun Breaker, taking down originally Seth. Okay, that's not happening because Seth is out and he doesn't have the title. But Braun Breaker could win the Rumble. No, wait, that's not happening. Now he's injured. Like, plans have changed a bunch. And that's why I also feel like fans aren't buying tickets right now. We've already seen it reported time and time again that the demand for WrestleMania 42 tickets has just been at a steep decline and continues to fall despite price cuts, discounts. They've sold 36,000 tickets for each night right now. And last year they had done
less.
Realistically, but they even did a price cut on Valentine's Day weekend. That didn't help at all. And I mean, they're still ridiculously expensive, but they sold 113,000 tickets last year. And now they're at 72,000. So, I mean, it is a worry. And there's a lot of factors into it besides just the extreme cost. One thing is that we've gone ahead and seen them, have it in the same place. People are like, oh, well, if they have, in Barclays every year. I get it. But that's SummerSlam, not Mania. People travel far and wide to do things for Mania. Maybe a lot of people don't want to travel because they did it last year. So they thought they were going to go to New Orleans. People don't want to go back to Vegas. Vegas is extremely expensive regardless. So there's a lot of factors going into this. The biggest factor to me is that for a long time now, WWE has not been required of themselves to sell themselves, if that makes sense. They basically have only needed to go off of brand name alone. WWE is coming to your town. You're going to buy tickets. Does that make sense? The way I'm trying to explain it, but basically, they're coming to Connecticut. Buy tickets. You don't know what match is going to be. You don't know who's going to be on that pay-per-view, PLE, Raw. They're coming this day. All right, so you know by which day it is, what show it is. Typically they tell you, but what I'm saying is you don't know the card you're going to get. You don't know what's going to happen. They might tell you what the dark match will be or who should be there, but even that is all subject to change.
Yeah.
I know.
I hate this buildup. I hate TKO. I hate everything about it because they make excuses. Why aren't we selling tickets? We must have to raise the prices more and stuff like that.
I mean,
maybe that will get people.
There's a lot of injuries right now. And before we get into the Mania card build and what's really brewing there, I mean, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, as we mentioned, but Naomi's on maternity leave. Roxanne Perez had some type of cyst removal or mass taken out of her back. So she's out. Seth, obviously, we talked about Rollins, Sheamus, Xavier Woods, Zoe Stark, B-Fab, Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green is now injured. She'll be back soon enough, but still. Elton Prince, Kevin Owens, Piper Niven. I know Omos is now back, but still, he's been on there for a while. Like, it's just the lack of house shows people have blamed, the lack of reps, just bad luck. I mean, there's a lot to it, but Triple H is facing a heavy amount of criticism, and I feel like it's deserved. You know, they announce they're going to New Orleans, then they take it away. They go back to Vegas because they realized they made a shit ton of money. It didn't matter that the fans enjoyed themselves or it was all about the money. It was the fact that they made, I think it was $66 million just off the tickets alone for Mania.
Right.
So there's just a lot right now in WWE that doesn't add up. If you look at the original lineup for what we thought was going to shape out to be for Mania, we didn't get that. And then the injuries changed the landscape a bit. Now, the way we're seeing it is they started off, it's going to be Roman and Cody, their third match. That's what's happening. Then Drew wins the title. So now it's what? Roman and Drew? No. Probably going to be Cody and Drew? Nah, that's not great. Then it goes to Roman and Punk. Roman wins the Royal Rumble. So the fans there cheer, but it's a disappointment because he didn't need it. He didn't need the Chamber win to go for the title. Like, they could have done a multitude of things with Roman. The Liv storyline, as we mentioned, she's the Rumble winner.
Yep.
Her choosing, crying, all of it has just been bad. Everything written so far is just a shit story yet again. Drew McIntyre is in a decent mess. He's got a lot of possible opponents, but no one is like a major standout in the sense of like, yeah, I need to see them win. I can't wait to see that person. They didn't.
Everyone complained about last year's WrestleMania. Like, how can we make it even worse?
And then we got Jade Cargill, whoever she faces. And like I said, it's disappointing. Because we're going to have the predictions. Obviously, by the time people hear this, it will be live Wednesday for our prediction show and into Somewhere Weekly. But on the men's side, we got Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. Right? So you could be excited. Imagine if they gave it to Trick. Trick versus Drew. Imagine Javon. Imagine LA Knight. But I don't see this happening. I think it comes down to Cody or Randy. And I mean, you don't need a prediction now. I'm not going to give you my final pick, but Randy Orton has been outwardly confessing his, dare I say, dream match or dream scenario, but he really wants to go ahead and have that title win at Mania. He wants to walk out of Chicago with his 15th win. He said that'd be huge. I think right now you've got Triple H and myself tied at 14. Cena has 17 and just retired. You've got Ric Flair with 16, so I'd love to get one more. At least one more, because then it'd be 14, 15, 16, 17. I wouldn't hate Randy going to Mania and winning because we know that he's leaving us very soon. But again, that's not like the most exciting option. It's nice. It's a feel-good moment, but that's not going to, him and Drew is not going to be the most exciting match. LA Knight is out there saying the same thing. He said, nothing has been paid off for me. This would mean all this paid off, everything, all the effort, all the time, all the blood, sweat, tears, all that stuff you hear everybody talk about, it's real. I'm 23 years deep into this thing right now. But with that being the case, when you talk about a marquee match like that, nothing gets bigger than WrestleMania. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, me being in the world title picture at WrestleMania is overdue, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think that was a lot of realism in that.
Yeah. So he was talking to SportsCenter on ESPN, and shout out to them for the quote. It's just, it's a shitty scenario that he has so far not really had any stellar, memorable moments. You know, like, all right, you were U.S. champ for a little bit, but he didn't even have it was short-lived. He didn't really have any great feuds. The highlight of him is obviously he's got the gift of jab and can, walk and talk, chew bubblegum, and kick ass. Great on the mic, really awesome character work, and he's fun to watch wrestle. He's great at selling, and his offense is often quite heavy-handed. So I would love to see him go on to face Drew. At least that is new. Him and Drew facing each other, that's something. That's not Cody. I'm sorry, because where does Cody go for Mania if he's not facing Drew? I don't know. Him and Jacob, they're doing that. You know what I mean? Like,
do that.
We've been down, it's like it just doesn't feel great for Cody either.
Breaking the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
When's this video going to be up? Like
tonight.
Before I give my
yes.
Okay,
tonight.
so maybe I shouldn't give my prediction then. I was going to say I have a little theory on what could happen, I guess, with that, but we'll save that for tomorrow, folks.
We'll save it into somewhere weekly. But growing, I mean, there's also another possibility. First time people hearing rumblings of Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. So, new update. She is being said that, the first time that was thrown around was War Games. WWE would prefer to have Bianca Belair healthy to face Jade. That's the reason Jade won the championship, so they could have the match with Bianca. But it's increasingly looking like Bianca may not be able to wrestle on the show. And Jade and Rhea Ripley is something they've always kind of kept in their back pocket. I mean,
right.
Having Rhea win the Elimination Chamber, that's not the worst thing in the world. She's done it before.
Elimination Chamber,
Does she need it? No, she could do a lot with the stars, but yeah, what's that?
Should Io and Charlotte have qualified for the chamber because you have the story with the tensions with Rhea and Io? If they'll actually help each other, then you'll have Charlotte and Alexa, who could be in there. Was more storylines with them. I don't buy Kiana James being in there just for the sake of a spot.
Yeah.
I think it kind of ruins some storyline between Charlotte and Alexa that you had in there.
I guess Raquel, they're trying to manufacture tension.
Because maybe Liv could interfere to help her, but it's going to cost her because you can play into that again, I guess.
Yeah, and that's in the chamber, so it's always hard to pull off. I know Seth came in and did the stomp.
Yeah,
but it's a difficult thing to do. Jade runs in the beginning, and then so it's done before, but. Kiana James, they said, "Oh, this legitimizes her. She got lucky." I mean, that's what it was in the actual wrestling world, if we're believing the story. But realistically, they should have had Charlotte go in. The story they want is, it's going to be Alexa versus Charlotte. They want them to break up and have the whole. Why, I don't know. You need women's tag teams. Why not just have them amicably go do solo things? And if they need to come back together, hey, you've got a team that's ready to go and people enjoy. And there'd be buzz about them reuniting. I mean, I don't see why it has to be this way, but now you have Charlotte jealous that Alexa's in the chamber. No, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Another Liv type thing.
Yeah.
But out of all the women in there, Alexa, Asuka, Kiana James, Raquel, and Tiffany, I guess Raquel and Jade would be good, and Rhea and Jade would be good. I don't want to see Asuka, Alexa, Kiana, or Tiffany, especially Tiffany, take on Jade.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work for me. It's not anything I think is exciting.
This is not who I want to win, but maybe so. Your top two contenders, you're saying, are like Rhea and Raquel, kind of thing. Or
I think those are the only two people that can win this, honestly. So
that you wouldn't mind seeing.
Not even that I wouldn't mind. Those are the only two I think have a shot at winning. I don't see any of the other four.
Is just there for
show. More cannon fodder
because. The Rhea and Raquel thing is just like one powerhouse versus the other. That's an easy story to tell, I guess. But
yeah, I
don't know.
But like I said, see, this is the thing though. None of it is like super exciting. Rhea and Jade, all right, that's cool. That's a better matchup.
No, I don't mind Raquel and Jade though, but I think Raquel works with the smaller woman.
Exactly, because she plays off of someone to throw around, and so it's not just ticket prices being higher. It's not just that it's in Vegas again, but they're missing that spark. They're missing that energy right now. What's the top story overall? I guess you could say Punk and Roman, but that's not even really the biggest of stories. It's just the match is going to be the main event. But
what's Brock doing? You had Brock show up to bounce around.
So we're hearing updates about Brock Lesnar, and it's.
Are they seriously going to do that until WrestleMania?
Yes, they're going to have him all the way through April 13th. So he'll be there, in San Antonio, Boston, New York, Houston, and Sacramento.
His opponent before then, or are they going to reveal his opponent at Mania?
So tentatively, from what I'm hearing, is they're going to have an open challenge standing with 5 weeks before Mania. So each time someone is going to come out, he'll wreck them. And then finally, the last person to come out, the ruler is what's being said.
So why not just build up a feud with those 5 weeks instead between Brock and Oba?
You would think, but I mean, this is coming from Wrestling Observer, but they said that, you know, at one point in time, the planned opponent for LA Knight was Lesnar. I'm not even. Yeah. I'm serious. Yeah. That direction was not teased during the Royal Rumble. And
at this point, who would LA Knight make sense facing? Maybe like you can throw him in a feud with like Dominic, right?
I guess him and Dom for the IC title would be good, but like I said, you got to get that thing away from Dom. It's too icy. And I don't know. I don't know who else is a better match than Obafemi to face Brock. I mean, he no-sold Ilya Dragunov, so that's kind of moot point at this point in time. But that could have been something crazy because Ilya slapped the shit out of Walter when he was fat Walter, not Gunther.
Yeah.
So, yes,
what
indeed.
version of him do you like better? Well, we're on that. Do you think he's better as Gunther, or do you like him better as Walter?
I like Gunther. It's definitely a different presentation.
Remember the poor Gunther tweet?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Poor Gunther. Oh, God.
Gunther Stark. Google that name. And instead, there's a chance that Drew...
Why not? What would come up?
I'm not sure. Right? Triple H tells us not to Google things.
Yeah.
I don't see Aleister Black. I don't see Jacob Fatu facing Drew. I don't see that way. Sami Zayn, no, we already went through that. I don't want a fatal four-way with Drew, Cody, Fatu, and Orton, you know, to be the way it comes down. We've already got the Chamber.
Could lead to that in a way now, thinking about that. I'm not, again, this is not predictions. I'm just throwing out theories. If you had Orton win and then had
from what I'm reading and hearing, they're saying that it's going to be anything but a singles match.
That's why I guess it would make more sense, right? For like Orton to win, then Drew keeps fucking around with Cody and Jacob, then Nick Aldis is like, you know what, motherfucker? All right. This is what's going to happen to you now. You want to keep fucking around and finding out. You're definitely going to do that now. And now they're in the match too, and that can piss off Randy. And Randy's going to be like, why is Cody? And then Randy's going to start tensions with Cody. And
Randy and Cody can face after Mania. And that could be the plan for Backlash.
Because I don't think you have Randy win because maybe Cody Rhodes wins it, and Randy's going to confront Cody saying, all right, you motherfucker, you got involved in my match. This wasn't your match. I earned my shot being in that chamber, and somehow you just miraculously get to be in my match?
Yeah. I mean, and you and I are going to go through very soon.
Why do we tell better stories than they do?
I was going to say, look at how you and I, being two homosexual retards on the side of the street asking for change, can come up in 9 seconds with something that has a bit more substance than what they're chewing on. They even had an all-hands-on-deck meeting. They got every department involved and said, what are your ideas for Mania? Just tell us anything. You know, you never know what'll stick. Throw it all at us. And this is what they've got so far. The interest is not there. I'm sorry. It's I can see it online. It's just not vibing with people right now. And a lot of these matches feel to go against the grain of not just fan demand, but what they also kind of set up or set expectations as. And that's the troubling thing. No one would have complained, really, if it was Roman and Drew, probably, and if you were having Punk and Cody. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like right there, that fixes every problem you got, because everybody wanted to see. So people wouldn't mind Cody winning the chamber if he's going to face Punk. But if he's going to face Drew and Cody wins again, of course he wins. Nepo baby, all the nightmare bullshit that people throw around. But he does have that I am the face that runs the place attitude, and it certainly does shine that he gets a lot of great booking scenarios and whatnot. Cody's never far from the main event, of course.
Do you think he's worse than John Cena, booked stronger than Cena, or no?
No, because he does lose, and he does drop things in a different way. Like John always had to lose via circumstance, it felt like being thrown through a spotlight, or like he couldn't be honest, just
like when he was feuding with the Nexus, who realistically you wanted Justin Gabriel to go beat Cena every week? To be fair, no offense to Justin Gabriel, I think he's a great wrestler.
The size difference and stuff, yeah. And even Rollins now, if he recovers in time, who does he take on? Logan Paul? We keep hearing Logan Paul is going to take on Bad Bunny.
Well, we've seen that a few years ago with Seth versus Logan.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's not interesting. So then it's going to be Seth versus Austin Theory to get revenge.
Spaz's idea, I guess, with Roman and Drew. Because there's still that. Because again, here's the thing with Triple H dropping storylines out of nowhere. Drew McIntyre confronted both versions of the bloodline, even though the heel bloodline. Drew McIntyre's like, just because you betrayed Roman and aren't with him anymore, you're still bloodline, so I'm after you too. And then he's like, I'm not going to stop until I get to the top dog. Like he said he was going to take everyone out from either or bloodline.
The elite hunter. I mean, the bloodline hunter. Yeah. And that was certainly into somewhere.
Because he told Solo too, I remember what you did to me.
Exactly. And then you don't, again, like I was iterating before, it's just another point, another tally on the whiteboard that we get to say, hey, look at all the storylines that have been forgotten. Look at all the things that have been overlooked.
Do you agree or disagree with this? Congratulations. Shout out to JD from New York, by the way. He got back with House of Glory. I don't know if this is
I heard some of his commentary. He was doing great over the weekend, and it was a lot of fun.
I don't know if part of the deal was like having to praise AEW, because he's like, now all of a sudden he's like, AEW's putting on great.
They have been putting on better shows with MJF as champion. I will give you that. The matches have been better. And
I think MJF's just going to improve your product all around. He's that kind of caliber of a star. But do you agree with his take? He said AEW is not perfect in their own right, but they are putting on better shows than Raw and SmackDown right now.
Oh, God. Like, part of me says yes, part of me says no. I get what he's going at, but to me, no. Yes. See, like, I really enjoy NXT. Most times that's not disappointing.
Better than anything in their main event scene over in WWE right now, I think.
SmackDown has
maybe main event scene.
Yeah, SmackDown's been better than Raw, but not by much. Raw and SmackDown have been pretty shitty.
Why is that? You see what happens? Because SmackDown now is probably, like you said, better than Raw right now. But like, why can't they just be good?
So I'll give you the exact reason why. It's the time formatting. So Raw doesn't go 3 hours. It goes 2 hours, 20 to 40 minutes, max 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. Usually it's like 24 now. So a lot of that, you're getting 18 minutes of commercials every hour, plus. So sometimes, usually it's about 20 minutes. So out of that, you've got 40, almost 50 minutes of commercials for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So you've got an hour and 30 minutes of actual content to fill. As where on the other side, you've got 2 hours, 4, 8, 12. So their matches last a bit longer, or they have an extra match thrown in there, or a longer, more intensive segment, or a couple more things on the show that they can get to that Raw doesn't have a chance to. So Raw either feels massively disjointed like it did this past week, last night with the whole AJ Styles great ending to one of the worst Raws of the year. And that's why it was so hard to judge. I mean, I gave it a 4 because of the AJ thing, but I probably would have given it a 2 as well if we had gone off of that not being there. It's just like you have to look at that as like a separate equation. And even that, I mean, no one thought AJ was actually going to be, retiring in Saudi Arabia, and him going ahead and being over there for the Rumble. Here we go. Let's go ahead and cut all this. And nope. All right. He's actually done. Well, he didn't take off his gloves because he wanted to do it at home. All right. That's fine. But WWE, you could tell, did this almost like a make good, it felt like. And they did a great thing for him. I'm very happy he's going into the Hall of Fame. That was a nice surprise from The Undertaker. But, I mean, you could tell it felt like an afterthought. You're in the Hall of Fame.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, speaking of dead man or dead men and possibly women.
The Happy Green.
We're facing down the barrel of another Black Friday incident, or was it Black Monday? I forget which one was which. But when superstars are let go, they're fired. Contracts are no longer re-signed or continued. It's just best of luck in your future endeavors. And right now, they have a lot of people hired that you don't see often or at all. Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar, where has he been? He resurfaced in AAA, but that's it. We haven't seen shit.
Apollo, he hasn't been.
Yeah, in a long time.
I didn't even know Apollo Crews still worked in WWE. I'm shocked, like, out of nowhere, he was just started appearing on TV again.
Yeah, the Creed brothers. I mean, we've seen Ivy Nile a few times, but where have they been?
I don't know. Chad Gable's back, but as El Grande Americano, the original.
The OG. Got to have the OG.
Monday Night Raw has turned into like Scooby-Doo movie, like a mystery. Like you have to solve all the what's in the box, who's the real El Grande Americano, who's the masked man?
Yeah, exactly. Who done it?
A bunch of mysteries.
Meechin's another one that you hear is Tyler Bate. Because what is he doing? Him and Pete Dunne are Bravo and Rayo or whatever the fuck. Another name.
Fuck that shit.
Rusev. So apparently they had bigger plans for him, but they may not have bought into what they thought they were going to get. Some people have said. I mean, the only thing that ever got him over was the shtick of Rusev Day. People got into that, but not him. It was just the meme of it, the gimmick.
It's Rusev Day. It was catchy.
Yeah, another one.
It wasn't even. No offense, I like Rusev. I think he's a great in-ring wrestler. I like him, but like, I don't think he even got that over. I think it was how Aiden English said it.
Aiden English and even Lana in part, who then had to make it about herself with Lana Day.
Lana Day, yeah. I think how Aiden English like sung. I think that's what got it over, not Rusev himself. Hot take there, but
yeah, no.
I think Aiden English got it over.
We saw the War Raiders randomly appear on Raw to get squashed. They got quickly destroyed by Obafemi, and they pretty much they won the tag team titles. They were the champs in 2024 towards the end, and then we've not seen them since they dropped the titles to New Day at WrestleMania last year. That's
another thing I hate. Vince McMahon's a terrible human being, a piece of shit. Like, you can get into the whole nitty gritty, but I think Vince kind of booked the War Raiders better a little bit than.
Vince still hated tag team wrestling though, because tag team wrestling, you look back through the 80s and before, but really like the late 80s and like the Rock and Roll Express and doing anything with Cornette and all of it. They really went ahead and made tag team wrestling on the same level, or if not higher than the main event at times. There would be cards where they were the main event over the champion. People cared more about, seeing certain. That's why it was called the Road Warrior Pop, because those guys were getting reactions that were so unheard of. Another person they're thinking of letting go is Grayson Waller. Not surprising, because unless he's this masked man, they've done nothing with him. Another female is B-Fab. The Street Profits is another team that we've not seen in forever. We had Montez Ford
with Grayson Waller, because when they got called up, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, like, I think those were like the next John Cena and Randy Orton to Vince. No,
I mean, they won the tag team titles.
Vince loved them.
Yeah, at WrestleMania 40 they won the tag titles, and then nothing, and they had the longest non-breakup story ever. When
Austin Theory was in the Indies and when he got signed by WWE, did you have a feeling Vince would love Austin Theory immediately?
No, I actually didn't sense that with him, but I enjoyed what he did, as brief as it may be, in NXT, and Grayson Waller had a bit more time down there, but...
Are you shocked that he liked Grayson Waller, Vince?
No, he's a great heel. He loves being a heel naturally.
Is he a Vince kind of heel? You would say.
Yeah, kind of. And one of the other people being mentioned is Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, he can go, no offense, but he can go back in Japan and retire there or something, because Shinsuke, I honestly feel like he's washed. Would you say so?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, that would be something.
Is that a hot take, or
no?
He's washed.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time he's really been able to be that force, the King of Strong style and all of that. So he is like a popular star. He's still kind of like a SmackDown fixture. But you think about the opportunities he could have had that he missed out on, and being a part of like the tribute show for New Japan and Tanahashi and all that stuff. Like they've gone through a lot, and I don't know. Like with Triple H's vision, I'm not really sure much of it is his vision. Punny with the title of this, but still, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe his vision is cursed, and it's not just the faction, the vision, but it's Triple H's vision for the company that just isn't working out. I hate how he is so dependent on the swerve, the Russo era, get one over on the marks online. Like he wants to, you didn't see it coming, but everybody did. Everybody knew that. John Pollock reported that Seth was going to be having an injury angle on Saturday night's main event. And I was like, well, that sounds weird. I mean, it looked real. We'll see. He's had a bad knee. You never know for sure because you don't want to believe that they're lying to you about something serious. You know, I tried to take it at face value. So now every injury you have to be like, take that with a pinch of salt because a grain's too much.
Who's more cursed, Vision or Judgment Day?
I think the Vision is definitely more cursed. Judgment Day, I mean, they've had issues and injuries and whatnot, but they've all seemed to bounce back pretty quickly for the most part.
Because who got hurt first? It was like, was it Finn or was it JD? Because they were building something, Finn and JD got hurt. And JD came back, and then they were building tensions again. Then Liv got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Then Liv came back to pair back up with Dominic. Then Dominic got hurt. Then JD got hurt again. And then they come back, and now Roxanne's out.
Yeah. I mean, freaking JD went ahead and punctured his lung and broke ribs and ridiculous. You know,
injury stopped Judgment Day's momentum the most? Was it Liv's injury?
I think so because they were set to break up. They were having that, you know, like
Liv was like feuding with everyone under the sun.
She was going to be the catalyst to Judgment Day breaking up, and Dom and Finn.
She was supposed to have a few matches at Evolution.
Yeah,
like
and now I don't need, just to go back a little bit too. I mean, we're talking about firings and what, but I heard it earlier. I don't know the validity of it, but it seems like Lesnar is also eyeing one of the night's main events for night one. He wants to have that, have that main event spot for himself. And
here to take on
that's a worry.
People that are on thin ice with WWE getting released. I don't see it now because I think they value her now. People said Raquel might be in the next batch of getting let go.
You never know, but how valuable
would you
is
say that's
likely?
If
she wins the chamber, I don't think so. But if she doesn't, I mean, anybody's expendable. But think about it. What have they done with her? You know, like she just took on Stephanie, and she's had great matches at times, but.
And it's not like they didn't try. I think they've tried more than most with Raquel, though.
When I say they haven't, like they've tried. They've given her matches. They've given her feuds. It's just it didn't ever really connect with the fans. No one went nuts for her when she was a face. And as a heel, she doesn't get that much of a reaction. When she was even beating down Stephanie and broke the belt on her, even then she still wasn't viewed as like, you know, getting booed out of the building.
Right.
I don't know. It's the whole thing is just it's unfortunate, but that seems to be what it is. You and I will be laying out our WrestleMania predictions after this weekend's Elimination Chamber. Cody and I, hopefully Sunday or, as soon as possible after that, we'll go ahead and bring you guys our early Mania predictions, thinking and knowing what the card is going to be exactly like. We're going to lay it all out and then see which of us happens to be more right and more correct. But, my good man, until that time, I need you to tell these sexy people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day. You can find me over on my YouTube, also at Judgment Day, and you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_VD_316. Soon to be all my social media handles. The rebrand is starting soon. I just want to do that when the PC's working. Like we're trying to get it figured out. Like Jake's a witness. Like we got it all set up, and then the fuse blows.
Yeah. We're getting there, though. We're getting there, little by little.
One problem after the other, but like we'll get there. And once the PC's set up, like then the rebrand, like, and it's not like it's no certain fan base out there. No, it's not a shite. Or it's
no slight. Just making you official. Then you'll be Judgment Day.
Yeah, like
no more. You'll be Cody Onidi all over 316.
Because you know how that gets. If you have to, once you're in that cult, like it's you follow our rules or.
You obey the livdom. Thank you all so much for listening. Hang out with us. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on notifications, please, because we're going to be live a lot. Into Summer Weekly is live every Wednesday, where we give you the latest wrestling news, rumors, and predictions for whatever major shows are coming up. We cover AEW, WWE, NXT, TNA, and whatever independent stuff happens to come our way. Thank you so much for listening. And like I said, we have so much WrestleMania content coming, so make sure you're tuned in. Thank you all, and stay sexy.